We're going to teach you today how to pair your vegetables with your herbs. So what you really want to do is you want to pair light, delicate, leafy herbs with your light vegetables. So with your mint and your basil, you will pair your tomatoes and your zucchini or your squash. With hardier, more tree-like herbs like your sage, your thyme, and your rosemary, you will pair with carrots and potatoes. A lot of times when you go to the grocery store, you try and get things, and we want to try and make it as simple as possible for you when you're doing this. I'll show you right now how you can cut and store your leafy vegetables or leafy herbs. This right here is basil. We'll cut up the basil chiffonade, we'll take it off the leaf and we'll chop it, and then we'll put it into some ice trays, and you can freeze it if you wanted to keep it. You can also take your basil and wrap it in a damp cloth and keep it in your refrigerator. It stays longer that way. With your other herbs, you can snip off the bottoms, keep them in a little bit of water, and then just store them like this. If you want to take them, put them in there. And then with the hardier ones, you would take a bag and put it over the top. Please remember to change the water every 2 days. All right, so let's cut the herbs here. If you are using live basil, as some might say, what you can do is you can just take it and keep it on your countertop, remembering to water it. So we'll just cut it up. Nice sharp knife here. Remember, with the knife skills, keeping the knife on the board. So you're going to take a tablespoon of your herb and put it in your ice tray. And you can fill the whole ice tray with that, and you would freeze it. I'll show you what we have so you can see what it looks like. All right. So you have it right there, and you can just take it out as you need it. Also, what you could do is you could also make your pesto with it, with the basil. So you would take your pesto and you would just take a little bit of olive oil, some salt, some lemon juice, and put it in your Robocool, and you can freeze that as well. So you see how there's ice. It wouldn't just be the raw herb itself. You would also fill it with water, and then you would put it in your ice tray, and then it would freeze. When you needed it, you would just take it out, let it melt, and you would take it that way. All right, so your mint as well. You keep your mint this way. Please adjust your refrigerators to about 38 degrees. So when you're going back and forth, in and out, that's how your herbs die faster. So you really want to try and make sure that it's regulated that way. So one might ask, when would they use dry spices and herbs? Whenever you can't use the fresh ones. Today we're also going to talk about how to use them and how to bunch them up, how you should use them in cooking. A lot of times the dried herbs, when you use them, make sure you cook whatever you're cooking with a little bit longer, just so the herbs cook out and you get to taste the flavor. We're going to talk about some of the herbs and the identification of the herbs. Like right here we have some curly parsley, which you can use as flavoring on anything. A lot of times you just use it as a garnish, but it has like it has a peppery feel to it, and you can use it in different dressings. You can use it with your potato salad. You can use it just to add a little bit of zing and a little bit more flavor to your dish, whatever it be. You have some mint here. A lot of times people might say mint mojito, but you can also use it to give a little bit of life to your vegetables. Again, you can also use it for your fish as well. It's a nice, delicate, real citrusy, minty feel, mint taste, mint flavor. And you can go this way. It's cilantro, which I love. A lot of ethnic dishes as far as Latin cuisine, and then we have some stuff here. We have our chili powder, our cumin, and our coriander, all ground, which you can use in like tacos or anything of that nature. You can also put it in your rice. What I would ask you to do before you put it into any dishes, put it on your saute pan and just toast it up a little bit. It brings the aromatics out when you're cooking it. So the cilantro and this right here, as far as your coriander, your chili powder and your cumin go together. They go really good together. Thyme, when I think of thyme, I think of potatoes. I also think of chicken. So if you're making a nice chicken salad, vinegar-based chicken salad, what you can do is you can take that thyme and just chop it up and put it in there as well. Sage. Sage is great. If you taste it, you'll think of sausage, because a lot of times when you're making sausage, the stuffing, they use a lot of sage in there. And if you just pull it off and smell it, you can smell it's a very earthy feel. It's really, really good. And your rosemary. Rosemary is very powerful, so use it with your heartier vegetables. Use it with your carrots, use it with your potatoes, because it really takes over a dish. You never want to use it on fish or scallops or something like that, because it really doesn't bode too well with it. As far as your spices, right here we have cumin seed, we have turmeric. This right here will go good with your Mediterranean or your Latin as well, right here. And then you have some parsley, some garlic, and some oregano. And when you think of that, you think of Greek spices. So if you wanted to make, something in the Greek family, you would do it this way. And when you store it, you want to store it like this as well, just so you have the family of spices together, so you know what goes with what. When you go to the store and you buy your spices, they might be expensive. Some might say this little thing right here cost me $5 or $6, but the longevity of it, it'll last about a year. So what I do is when I go and I pick up my spices, I have marjoram here. I'll take a piece of tape and I'll put the tape on there and I'll put the date on there. Always keep a Sharpie and some masking tape with you. And you put the date on and you just keep it for a year. Remember, when you're cooking with dry spices, you cook the flavor out. So if it says to go for 45 minutes, go for another 15, 20 minutes to up to 30 minutes, so you can cook out the flavor, because it is a dry spice. First we talked about fresh herbs, then we talked about dry herbs and spices, and now we're on to vinegars, lemon juice, lime juice, and orange juice. I just want to start off by saying there's no right or wrong way to season your food with these things, because it's all about your taste. And in order for you to do that, you have to experiment in your kitchen. So I want you to think of your kitchen as a laboratory. And one thing I said is make sure you have a marker, make sure you have some masking tape, but also make sure you have a pen and pad so you know what you're doing. And measuring spoons and cups are very important in the kitchen as well. Those are very important tools. So right now we have some beans here, and we also have some corn. And when you're cooking, in order for you to get the consistency that you want, you have to measure, because a little dab would be great, a little dab would be excellent, but you really want to have consistency, and you really want to have the same flavor all the time. So you can definitely take some lime juice and some lemon juice and add it to your corn. And then with the cilantro that we had, with the cumin, with the coriander, you can make that, and that'll be great. With your beans, you can also take a teaspoon of lemon juice. So if you wanted to take some cider vinegar or some red wine vinegar and add it to it, just to add a little bit of sparkle to your dish. Just a little zing. It's an undercurrent, which brings out the flavors, and it doesn't include salt. So right there are 3 great proponents that you can use in order for you to season your food properly and give you a nice taste without using salt in your food. So this is another alternative to adding flavor to your food without using salt.